Welcome to Faithfully Growing Together and This Growth Moment, a podcast to help us all learn and grow and transition together. I'm your host, Tim Fortescue, a life coach, coming alongside people of faith as we all manage transitions. Today I want to talk about how to be social again as we emerge from a year of pandemic. If you need help learning how to people again, you might find this episode helpful. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm really struggling with re-engaging or peopling again. My son and I went to an Oakland A's game at the end of last week, and as I was walking through security or attempting to walk through security, I realized that I'm going through with coins in my pocket and keys and alarms going off, and just realizing that it's been a long time since I've done this and didn't really know what I was doing, and was thankful, and it was encouraging to see the grace that the people who are normally a little more grouchy and not having patience with folks who don't have things out of their pocket when they're going through security, to be hungering for that connection. And it was evident that they were glad to be encountering random people again and doing their jobs. We get into the game finally and sit there and we have our masks on, but someone comes around selling hot dogs. And so I buy a hot dog, and being a white male particularly, I try to be cognizant about always wearing my mask, because often, maybe it's just my opinion, but it's folks like me who are trying to buck the system, and I want to set a good example. But I also want to eat my hot dog, and so I take my mask off and begin eating my hot dog, and lo and behold, here comes an usher, not at me specifically, but with a sign saying, "Wear your mask." And so there's confusion there, and granted, I know what they're saying. They're saying wear your mask when you're not eating or drinking, but confusing times right now. But even with the awkwardness of re-engaging and me leaning toward being introverted and enjoying the aloneness, often it was good to be back with a crowd of strangers again. And then earlier this week was outside of my kids' school, getting ready to pick them up. They're going to school hybrid, so part-time, and so was picking up the kids, and to hear parents talking about which vaccine they got, how they responded to it, and for me to chime in just randomly and let them know that I got the Pfizer vaccine. My arm was sore after the first dose, but I didn't experience the sickness that many people talk about after the second dose, and then apologize and saying sorry for kind of butting in on your conversation. But them just saying no problem, we're just glad to talk about it. We have a commonality of all things about a vaccine. And to see that others are hungering for that connection. And maybe you can understand where I'm coming from and my struggle too. And so I want to share with you 8 exercises that I got from a New York Times article that might help us all strengthen our social skills. And I'll also place a link to the article in the show notes so you can look at it further if you're interested. But hopefully you'll find this helpful as I did. So number 1 of these 8 exercises to strengthen our social muscles. Share food with someone. Eating a meal together boosts mood, and it's a potent antidote for loneliness. And I've found this in my own life, just the last couple of weeks, meeting someone for a cup of coffee or over lunch has been helpful for my connection, and sharing a commonality of something we enjoy socially like food has been helpful for me. Number 2, tell someone a joke in person. And you may be out of practice, maybe you never were in practice, but even if you have to work on your timing, making eye contact and laughing together is essential to feeling connected to someone else. And people are pretty desperate right now for that connection. So maybe it'll help your joke land a little better too. People are looking to laugh. Number 3, ask someone what they're listening to or reading right now. Music and literature can be a community building gift. And so maybe you want to listen to music together, exchange books, and then have an in-person discussion about what people are reading. I know I recently threw this out on my Facebook group, and it stimulated a lot of random conversations. Maybe you want to ask someone what they're reading or listening to. And then next, reach out to someone you've lost touch with. I have found that this pandemic gives me the grace that I need to reach out to people maybe I was not even as connected as I wanted to be or needed to be prior to the pandemic. But I've found that this gap of total disconnect has given me leeway to re-engage people that I may have lost touch with for a long time. So maybe it'd be helpful for you to send a meaningful text, to write an email, or to make a phone call. But reach out to someone that you've lost touch with. And then another exercise, strike up a conversation with a stranger, like I gave as examples of my trip to the baseball game or with parents at the school. People are longing for that connection, and I've found that it's easier to strike up a random conversation right now, and it's more enjoyable to me since I have missed that for a long time, and I've found others have missed that also. Next, move with someone. Dance, walk, run, swim, bike. I found that going for a walk with people, much like eating with people, it provides just that, those endorphins that I need to converse with people. I'm moving my body. I'm helping there as well as connecting with people. And then the next one, number 7, sit quietly with someone and remember how to comfortably be without talking in companionable silence with someone else. Maybe you're sitting on a park bench. Maybe you're in a coffee shop by yourself, but you're in close proximity to someone else. And with us being so out of touch with people, let's be aware that when we're around people, and even if we may not be physically engaged in conversation, it may be helpful to sit quietly, realize that they're there in your presence, and be grateful for that. And then finally, of these 8 exercises, number 8, think of something fun to do with someone you love. It could be a summer beach weekend or maybe a ski trip next winter, but having something to look forward to is essential in general for our well-being, but specifically in light of coming out of the pandemic, planning with hope and optimism and anticipation of normalcy is helpful during this time. So I hope that you found these helpful. I want to encourage you, get out there. First of all, acknowledge that it's okay that we're not used to people right now. And then hopefully these 8 simple practices that I've shared with you that I learned from the New York Times will help us as we re-engage the world. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks so much for your time and for listening. And as always, if you did find this helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe below. And if you'd like to continue the conversation, I will put a link to my Facebook group below and would be glad to interact with you there. Additionally, if you'd like to learn more about me and Faithfully Growing, you can visit the website on your screen, faithfullygrowing.com. And if it'd be helpful to talk to someone, or if you'd like to book a complimentary consultation, I'd love to meet you. But thanks again, and I look forward to what lies ahead as we all continue to faithfully grow.